CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Now on the afternoon edition, more neighborhoods in Napa County are being forced to evacuate as that Pickett wildfire burns near Calistoga. Our chopper flew over the fire in the last hour, where crews are facing another day of heat and challenging conditions. Thanks for joining us this Friday. That fire has grown to more than 2,000 acres, still with no containment. It sparked yesterday afternoon on Pickett Road on the outskirts of Calistoga, east of the Silverado Trail. Fire officials say Calistoga is not in danger right now with those flames pushing east away from the city, but it is threatening dozens of people living in rural areas. Let's show you a closer look at that latest evacuation map. Some evacuation warnings have just been upgraded to orders. Everybody in the red region is being asked to leave immediately. People living in the yellow areas are being asked to be ready to go. That is a warning. Hundreds of firefighters still battling this fire. They worked through the night, and containment's been a real challenge because the fire's edge is burning in such a remote area that has been tough to access. Veronica Macias live at the Napa County Fairgrounds in Calistoga with the latest on the firefight. Veronica.
Good afternoon, and here we're at the Calistoga Fairgrounds, and I can tell you there is a lot of manpower out here. There are firefighters, about 435 personnel now that is fighting this fire that remains at 0% containment. We have seen firefighters here carrying in water. There was a helicopter that landed maybe 10-15 minutes ago, and you could tell, from the neighbors that we've been able to talk to, they were saying they didn't heed the warning. They stayed put in their homes along Pickett Road, and they were saying overnight they could just hear so much noise. And some people took pictures of the time lapse of the fire here going from 3 o'clock to 5 p.m. and really telling me that they feel like they were in no threat. But again, like you said, there are new evacuation orders. But take a listen to the people we talked to earlier today.
All the way to
Michelle LeBlanc and Hubert Verde decided to stay put in their home despite the order to evacuate. They, like surrounding neighbors, were on fire watch duty and documented this time lapse of the smoke up the hill from them, watching the plume expanding quickly in size. Hubert feeling confident with the line of trucks outside his door, but also wanting to make sure that he stayed to protect his home.
You can stay. It's just you will not get any help from the sheriff or any kind of assistance if anything turns bad. We were following what the wind was doing with the fire. The fire was just blowing away from us. We had the car ready to go. We had all our valuable in it.
The fire, however, doubling in size overnight, and it's all bringing back memories of the tubs and the glass fire. Still, it also gave them confidence in their decision to stay in their home.
The 2020 fire, you can see what's left over the hills. Came right up to Pickett Road, and we evacuated for that. So this one, we actually saw it from about 3:15. We were walking up the road. We saw just a puff.
And many people in this area also noticing the same with the fire's direction, deciding to take hold of their hoses. However, the concern now is not for their property, but the vineyards surrounding them and the damage the smoke has done to the grapes. Hubert says sometimes when it comes to the fires in California and the constant threat with dry conditions, he prefers to try his best at saving all the things he worked so hard for.
Yeah, rather than you come back and it's burned, you say, well, I could have done, I didn't, or, at least if you're here, I try my best. When you evacuate, you just don't know what you're going to come back to.
And Ann, just from being out here this morning, it's just breathtakingly beautiful, and it's painful to think of all the investment and all the vineyards that are in the potential path of the flames here with this fire. And we're hearing from neighbors just helping one another. You have cars in driveways with doors open, people getting ready to pack, and thankfully, most of the people we talked to heeding the warning here to evacuate with those new orders now issued. And here at the fairgrounds, I can tell you we have seen a lot of manpower. Also, we saw earlier CDCR firefighters just bringing water and just helping one another out here in this difficult time with this firefight that seems to be growing now in size, Ann.
All right. Thank you for that report live from the ground, Veronica Macias. The smoke from the wildfire, you can see it behind her there, creating some bad air conditions in the North Bay. Our chopper showing that layer of smoke over the valley. The Bay Area Air Quality Management District has issued an air quality advisory for Sonoma, Napa, and Solano counties. Meantime, crews are still dealing with the heat advisory in that area. So let's get over to meteorologist Jessica Birch with more.
It's wild to think that this fire started growing in size the same day that the National Weather Service issued that heat advisory, where daytime highs started soaring into the afternoon hours just yesterday. Now, I want to show you current conditions over where the Pickett Fire is at. As the boots on the ground are continuing to fight this fire, they're now talking about 90s in the forecast into this afternoon. Relative humidity is low, and you take a look at the smoke forecast. For the most part, we're getting this onshore wind that will continue to develop into the afternoon hours today. It's looking very similar for our forecast tomorrow. That can make it a little challenging, especially considering the fact that that fire is up close to Howell Mountain. And if you know that area and that terrain, it's challenging terrain. So let's drop this real fast and show you temperatures widespread throughout this area. For the rest of us in wine country, we're gearing up for 80s and 90s today. Still under a heat advisory off into the East Bay today. Is it hard to believe when you're taking a look at triple digits? No. I mean, Antioch today, still well above average by about 10 degrees. That's also the case over in Concord, sitting in the upper 90s. We have 80s mixed with 90s down into the Santa Clara Valley. But let's talk about some other things going on for us. The air quality all the way up close to Healdsburg and St. Helena specifically, and all the way up closer to Howell Mountain. We're sitting in that unhealthy category. There's a reason why those advisories are in effect right now. Be very careful if you live up in this community. That smoke is expected to continue to push inland as we head into our Saturday and Sunday forecast, getting that onshore breeze really kicking up along the valley into the afternoon and evening hours. I'm going to talk more about this coming up in just a bit and what you can expect as this heat starts to finally break apart coming up heading into this weekend's forecast. For now, back to you.
Thanks, Jess. We have some developing news out of San Rafael. Moments ago, fire officials said that they are investigating yesterday's huge apartment complex fire as suspicious. 2 people are still unaccounted for after that fire early yesterday morning on Canal Street. Police there say 2 people missing were in different units. They're not related. Our chopper flew over the aftermath. You can see there the roof collapsed and the charred remains below it. That is where 55 people lived in 19 apartments. Police just spoke at a news conference saying that the fire is suspicious because of how quickly it burned.
We've gone from unknown to suspicious, and as a result, we're taking this very seriously and using as many resources as possible to investigate what happened and how it happened.
Well, some of the people living in that building escaped by jumping from their balconies and windows into the canal below. 8 people were hurt, 1 with serious injuries, and the entire complex is a total loss. Months after the deadly explosion at a Yolo County fireworks facility, the California Fire Marshal has officially revoked multiple pyrotechnics licenses. That includes the companies Devastating Pyrotechnics, Inc. and Black Star Fireworks and their owners. Their licenses were already suspended after that explosion on July 1st. The fire marshal says the facility in Esparto violated state laws by not reporting lost fireworks and possessing fireworks without a local fire permit. 7 people were killed in that explosion, including 2 brothers from the Bay Area. Governor Gavin Newsom is confident that his redistricting plan will be approved by voters in November. He spoke in San Francisco this morning to announce a new partnership with Denmark aimed at boosting collaboration on climate, tech, and innovation. But his redistricting plan is what's on top of mind after he signed legislation yesterday that paves the way for voters to weigh in on new congressional maps in a November special election. That is in response to the Texas legislature's redistricting plans that aim to give Republicans 5 more House seats. We asked the governor today for his take on the support of his effort.
We've had overwhelming support, including former President Barack Obama. It's united the Democratic Party. Independents, I think, broadly recognize what's at stake. And so we put a stake in the ground. We're giving the people the opportunity to decide. I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to succeed. The more people are made aware of what this is, the more likely they are to support it.
State Republicans have been critical of the effort and say the power to draw the maps should stay with California's independent redistricting commission. The special election is on November 4th. Wall Street soaring this morning following a speech from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell signaling an interest rate cut in September. Here is a live look at the big board right now. The Dow is up almost 850 points. That comes amid President Trump's ongoing criticism of the Fed. Natalie Brandt has the latest from the White House.
In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside. A challenging situation.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell used Friday's speech to signal the central bank is open to cutting interest rates ahead of its next decision in September.
The baseline outlook and the shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting our policy stance.
Powell, whose term as chair expires next May, has faced intense pressure from President Trump to lower interest rates. He spoke today about continued economic uncertainty over the administration's immigration and tariff policies.
This year, the economy has faced new challenges. Significantly higher tariffs across our trading partners are remaking the global trading system. Tighter immigration policy has led to an abrupt slowdown in labor force growth.
President Trump backed off previous threats to fire Powell, but is now targeting another Fed board member, Lisa Cook.
What she did was bad, so I'll fire her if she doesn't resign.
Cook was appointed to the Fed's Board of Governors by former President Biden. This week, a Trump administration official accused her of mortgage fraud and called for an investigation. In a statement, Cook says she has no intention of stepping down.
Coming up, cutting back on plastic just got a little easier. A look at an East Bay store that is putting old containers to good use. In this afternoon's Project Earth, we are taking a look at a growing trend in the Bay Area that's good for the environment and for your wallet. Juliette Goodrich has more.
In the San Francisco Bay Area, on the island of Alameda, right on Webster Street, step inside and check out this small store with a big vision.
This is absolutely fantastic.
Here, you'll find a way to save money and support a family-owned business. It's also where the locals know how to fill her up and reduce the use of fossil fuels at the same time.
I'm here because I don't like plastic.
Welcome to Replenish Marketplace, one of the Bay Area's newest refill shops.
I saw there's one in Alameda, so here we are. We're checking it out.
I'm looking for detergent.
Some hand soap today.
Oh, I like lavender. Yeah, let's do lavender.
Refill shops allow customers to reuse their old containers to buy everyday essentials. At Replenish, if you forget, no sweat.
You can get a jar or a container from their local jar supply. Yeah, these are containers donated by the community.
It is a dream come true for me.
Laria Pippin is the founder and owner of Replenish. She's also a pediatric nurse concerned about plastic waste.
There's a lot out there about microplastics and the harms to our body. That said, we want to be hopeful.
Personally, I don't think it's something we can ever get rid of, but we can definitely mitigate its imprint in the world.
Stephen is her husband.
We're here to work with people. That's what it all comes down to.
This is just convenient and you're cutting the waste out, so.
I already had it, might as well use it if I have it. It's better that I use it again than that it goes to a landfill.
It's widely reported how less than 10% of plastic is recycled globally.
As recyclers, we're trying very hard to recycle more plastics to get that percentage higher. But we can't do it on our own.
We're always encouraging people to reduce how much they produce and how much they use.
Logan Harvey and Robert Reed are both with Recology. The company's state-of-the-art facility in Santa Rosa processes more than 16,000 tons of plastic every year. They applaud the growing popularity of refill stores.
It's great. They're really cool idea, and very kind of a back to basics.
At Recology, we absolutely love the refill stores.
As do their customers.
There's something really special about being able to replenish items that you're regularly buying without having to purchase a new container.
Sometimes people just feel so overwhelmed by the plastic crisis and the climate crisis that they're just not sure where to start. And so we just want to welcome people with open arms and say, hey, we're here to help. And here's some ideas for you.
We make a difference, but it's also our customers that are helping make the difference.
And that's filling up the world with hope.
All right, back to our first alert weather now, taking a live look outside. You can see there is that layer of smoke hanging around the Bay Area. This is a view from Mount Diablo, and that is because that wildfire that has been burning to our north in Napa County. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
And let's talk about that air quality alert that's still in effect right now. If you're at the surface level, you're sensitive to pollutant matter. Many of us are. This is the time to limit your time outside, close the windows and those outdoor vents and stuff. And this is what we're going to expect as we head into the afternoon hours. I want to talk about this surface level smoke because it's becoming widespread as we head into the next 24 hours. Forecasted right now as the humidity continues to drop, temperatures start to rise. We're also under a heat advisory right now near where the Pickett Fire is at. The boots on the ground, they're challenged with, of course, warm temperatures and challenging terrain as we head into the afternoon hours. Now, winds are light currently, but it is worth noting that as we head into the afternoon hours, it's going to pick up a bit more, pushing in from offshore. Now, here's where we're at as we head into our daytime highs. Many of us still under heat advisories off into the East Bay, sitting in the triple digits near Antioch this afternoon. It was just yesterday we were also in the triple digits from Concord down into Livermore, but that heat is starting to break apart as we head into this weekend's forecast. We'll actually be right back to average heading into this weekend and early next week. Daytime highs today still sitting in the 90s, closer to the foothills in Los Gatos. Now let's talk about a couple things going on. The air quality right now throughout most of the Bay Area, we're mostly in the green. We head a little bit more north, closer to Napa, throughout that valley near St. Helena, Howell Mountain, where the fire is currently at. Well, right now we're in that unhealthy category. So community members up there definitely faced with not the best conditions when it comes to air quality. And that's expected to continue to track off into the east, closer to the Sacramento Valley as we head into this weekend's forecast as winds continue to ramp up just a bit more. You take a look at the next 7 days, a couple things I want to talk about real fast. Starting off with the Bay forecast, we're sitting in the 90s today in our inland areas. We're going to jump down to the low 90s tomorrow, back into the 80s heading into this weekend. Still sunny skies each day. You make your way over into the Bay, right behind me, that live look finally showing blue skies. We're still going to see cloudy mornings ahead of us with low 70s heading into next week. Back to you.
Thanks, Jess. The 49ers getting ready for their matchup against the Chargers tomorrow. We're going to take a look at the friendship between two members of the Red and Gold. Up next. As training camp winds down for the 49ers, two players have gone from bitter rivals to best friends. Vern Glenn has the story in our Red and Gold report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers host the Chargers this Saturday in their final game of the preseason. The last chance for many players to make their case to be on the roster when it gets cut down to 53 players next week. Cornerback Chase Lucas has had a strong preseason. Forced to safety against the Broncos. Picked off a pass against the Raiders. Lucas joined the Niners last season, which didn't sit well with fellow corner Diamador Lenore. Lucas and Lenore got into it after the 49ers beat the Lions in the NFC Championship game. A beef that went all the way back to their days in the Pac-12.
And I was like, why we sign him? This dude that I was beefing with in the NFC Championship game.
He went to Oregon, I went to ASU. We had some Twitter beef, and then, we seen each other on the NFC Championship field, and it kind of just came back to life.
I wouldn't say the first couple weeks, we was just kind of side-eyeing each other, who's gonna say something first. So then we was running off the field one time. This is the first time we actually had a conversation. He was running off the field and we slapped gloves. Then we kind of looked at each other all right, and then, we got cool after that.
I think me and him became not even best friends, really brothers, and he's helped me a lot.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
And the Red and Gold hosting the LA Chargers tomorrow. You can catch all the action here on KPIX. Kickoff set for 5:30 p.m. Pre-game coverage live from Levi's starts at 5. Metallica returning home to the Bay Area in October for a big benefit concert. Heavy metal band's going to be taking the stage at Chase Center for Dreamfest. That is part of the annual conference put on by Salesforce. The concert raises money for UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital. Pop star Benson Boone is also going to perform just outside of the center at Bayfront Park. Tickets, though, pretty pricey, starting at $1,500. That is it for the afternoon edition. Remember that we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to Live and then choose Bay Area.